Ew. What up, folks? Quick, real brief. No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know how long I'm gonna be. But I wanted to talk to you guys just for a little bit about, the choices that you made when you were making that smartphone purchase. There's a conversation like this can go, and I just have some phones laid out here. This is a top down live stream. Um, when it comes to making that right choice for a phone, what's going on? I see you guys coming in the chat. I appreciate you. Doing a kind of a midday stream. Mexico in the house, I see. Doing a midday stream for people out there who can't catch me later in the evening. Was going to record this video, but sometimes I just feel like going in and just posting it. Sometimes I just feel like posting. So in this video, I just want to discuss, this live stream, I should say, I just want to discuss, I wonder if you think you made the right choice. Oh man, Grandma, you have no idea. This is just the ones that I have right here. Yeah, oh boy. I can't stress enough, man. So many phones, a lot to keep up with. And you want to know a fun fact? Phone number, phone number, phone number, phone number, phone number, phone number. Scattered amongst I got my phones that I use and laid them all in one spot. The ones that actually have numbers on them. Obviously, I have way more phones than this. Yeah, we're gonna get into a brief live stream. So if you're at work, you know what to do. Don't get in trouble. Just kind of slide me off to the side. Turn your earphones on or whatever you're gonna do, and we'll get this thing going. So I wanted to kind of do a live Q&A. Try to keep you guys, let's keep the conversation going. So making the right choice. I think a lot of people probably made the wrong choice. If I'm it's just I appreciate the love, Johnny. I appreciate you, man. I see you. Most people probably made the wrong choice when it comes to their smartphones. And that's not like an attack or a put down or anything like that. It's just a matter of we've got to be better and when we're doing our selections for phones. So if you have a question, go ahead and post it down below. I'll answer your questions and I'll try to keep this video going as long as I can without fail. So I see a question already. So let's just go ahead and let's post this up because this isn't really. If you look on my community tab, I answer that question. I like both, but I prefer Android. That's a long conversation, Johnny. I see another comment here from Scotty. He says, "Will LG continue to make phones?" Personally, no. I don't think they're ever going to get back into the phone game. I think they're done. Yeah, it does. So I just laid out a few phones here. This is just because I wanted to do a top-down shot. Yeah, everything's legit on this table right here. This is the OnePlus 9 right here. Here's the OnePlus 9 Pro. Got a skin on this one. I took my skin off of this one right here. But just have some phones laid out here. And, because the reason I have, does anybody think they know why I have these particular different phones laid out? Do you know why I have these phones laid out? There's a reason I have all these different phones laid out here, but because there's something about each one of these that's different. There's something different about all these phones laying on the table. And I'll just get right to it. It's no mystery. It's the price. All of these phones cost different. They're all in different price ranges, and some offer value to the consumer right away and some don't. And that's just my personal opinion. Some offer value, some don't. Some literally offer very little value to the consumer out there, and some offer good value. So let me do a mic check real quick here for you guys. Let me make sure I'm good. Audio's good. Let me know if the audio's good.
Consumer.
Yep, it's good. I just did a mic check. So I think a lot of people are probably making the wrong choice when it comes to their smartphone. Are definitely probably making the wrong choice when it comes to their smartphone because they're being duped into buying things that they don't need. So I see a question right here from Scotty once again. What Android phone or phones are you looking forward to the most over the second half of the year? That's going to be the Pixel 6 or whatever it's called, and the Z Fold 3, if that's the name, or the Z Flip, those phones. And then most definitely the Surface Duo 2. Right now, I think the Surface Duo 2, codenamed Zeta, is scheduled for October, but that could change. I've heard it got pushed back to 2022, January. Then I heard it's coming forward to November. Then I heard it's got in December. Then I heard it's October again. I don't know. Hey, man, go take on T, man. T, you at work? Oh, that's right. You don't work like me. You don't work. But yeah, those are the phones that I'm excited about. Those are the phones that I'm excited about for sure. Eric, I see you, man. I see you coming in. Appreciate you coming in. So midday stream, I think a lot of people probably got duped on their purchase for trying to figure out what's the best value for them. Yeah. And so I see a comment here from DJ Diak says, I've gotten cooked picking the wrong phone a few times. You know what? Right off the rip, I appreciate the honesty. Some people aren't honest with themselves. They're not realistic with themselves to say, hey, they kind of got me on this one. He said, especially on Android phones that didn't upgrade. Looking at you, ZTE. Hey, shots fired, ZTE. He coming for you. Yeah, but I think a lot of people got duped, man. They got cooked, as he put it, because they picked the phone. Now I'm talking more about like how people get tricked into buying phones that are being labeled as high end. You know what I mean? They're being labeled as high end, and the people buying these phones, they're not actually going to use these phones for what they should be used for, or they're not going to get as much value out of the phone that they possibly could. And that is why I have these different phones laid on the table here, because they're all from different price ranges and they're all kind of still close to each other in a lot of ways. Yes. Yeah. What do I think about Samsung phones? You should I think Leroy Lee should subscribe to the channel if you're not already done so. Yeah, because I definitely like Samsung phones. Let me see here. What's the best value phone for you right now? So for me, value is probably going to be the Pixel 4a 5G or the Pixel 4a. These phones are just straight up value to the consumer. That's just personally what you said for me. So unless you're talking, like, anyone in the chat can answer that question, by the way. Anyone can answer that question. But I think that value to customer is not the iPhone 12. But for iOS people, they could get, like, people who are just strictly iOS, they can get other phones like the iPhone SE, or they could just get an older iPhone because it's still going to get updated to iOS 15. Isn't that crazy? What's the oldest iPhone that's getting updated? Is it the 7? Is it the 7? I think it's the 7 series that's getting updated for iOS people who are just strictly iOS. Paul says, I like phones that get timely updates. Paul, why do you like phones? Are you a techie? Are you into the tech thing or something like that? Because honestly, and again, folks, there's no wrong answer and there's no wrong question. We're just having conversation. Smartphoneconversations.com. That's the plug. See it scrolling. There's really no need for a person to want a software update every month, because most of the software updates are just things that work along in the background. But I see a lot of people that want software updates, and it's mainly in the techie world where people are concerned about the software updates. So I understand your pain if you get a phone that doesn't get a software update. But personally, all of the phones that I have, I don't care if a phone gets a software update as long as it's working. Yep, as long as it's working. Someone says they agree with Paul. What's up, Tech Loving Mama? I see you in the house. What's going on? You made it. You made it. You made it. You select some phones. I was gotta have a conversation there. See, I have an iPhone SE because I still use Touch ID. Facts. That would be facts because based on today's market, on what we need to work for us, fingerprint readers have now become a thing where you need a fingerprint reader. You're going to need a fingerprint reader for a lot of reasons. You know what I mean? So that is something that I think you hugely should consider. The Pixel 4a 5G is the truth. Exactly. That is the phone that I would recommend for people who want a Google device right now. You definitely should be rocking the Pixel 4a 5G. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Pixel 5, but ultimately, both of those phones have exactly what this phone has internally, the Snapdragon 765G. So while this phone from ZTE probably won't get any updates or anything like that, it technically is a better offering than the 4a 5G because it costs less and the Pixel 5, it has great cameras. It's got really good battery. It's got a big screen. It's got the same internals, folks. Yeah, it's hard. So like if a ZTE was a company that updated their phones like regularly, everybody would be rocking that Blade 5G right there, that Blade X1 5G, because it's getting software updates and it's got stock Android. Yeah, people would do that. People would do that. Shout out to my Project 13. I've been rocking with some of y'all for at least 5 to 10 years. It's incredible, isn't it? How the time has flew by. That's incredible. So if you're just joining in, midday stream and conversation about, are you making the right choice when it comes to buying your smartphone? And the Savage, what's going on? I see Savage in here. All right. I see. Got you. What's going down? I'm not too concerned about software updates unless it's a vital one. And that right there is a fact for a software update. That is kind of how I feel on software updates. I don't have to have the latest software update because you know what? Even though I consider myself a mild techie, reality is I'm not even using the phone for some of these things that they're updating. I'm not getting all of my money's worth on a phone that I have. I'm just not. I'm honest with myself. I'm not going to sit on video on a live stream and tell you that I'm getting all of my money's worth. That's just not realistic because I'm not. Some software updates are vital, and I totally agree with Anthony. That is a fact. You really should be looking for the ones that are vital. They're going to help your device continue to work. Bad news. What's going on, man? I see you. Hey, Jay, in your opinion, should a person focus on longevity of a phone rather than features when buying a new device? I think that a person should focus on what they need to use the device for, because longevity is something that we don't know is going to happen until those phones are out there for that time, i.e. the iPhone 6. I think the iPhone 5, I know people that still use an iPhone 6S or an iPhone 4. So longevity is something that we don't know is going to happen until the sales of a device happen and a whole bunch of people buy it. Then it keeps getting updated because software updates are not free. Some people have this big misconception about Android software updates that they're free when companies need to update them. No, they're not free, folks. They have to pay to update these phones because if a phone isn't selling well, would you update it? Let's just say you own this OnePlus right here. This is the OnePlus 9. Unlocked, 12 gigs, 256 gigs storage. It is currently obviously on the latest patch, but we're not talking about that. Let's just say you own OnePlus and you wanted to sell 20 million of these and you only sold 400,000. And software update costs 500,000. Would you update the phone? Yeah. So that's a big misconception about software updates. But we don't know about longevity until something is actually out there and people are actually buying it and using it. And because really, YouTube reviews, folks, are just a drop in the bucket. We have no idea how a phone is going to do. We don't know how a phone is going to do until it's actually out there and being used by the consumer. We just don't know. We don't know. I'm trying to show a comment here. Pop up. Hey, Tech Fowler, I didn't see you in there. Tech Fowler's here? Okay, there we go. All right. Let me switch the screen here. I see Tech Valor. I see, hey, you got some moderating. Man, I guess I saw something I didn't see. What's going on? I had to switch over to YouTube real quick. Audio issues. Let me check something here. Let me check my sound check. I see Tech Valor. Okay. Yeah. I saw something. Okay. Yeah. I think that might be connection issues, man. Looks like my connection is acting crazy again. I don't know what's up with my connection with YouTube. All these streaming apps. Every time I stream directly with YouTube, I have no problems. But when I stream with anything other than YouTube, yeah, it says I'm having problems. Yeah, but I'll keep going for a little bit here because it says I'm having connection issues. Maybe I have to check my router or something like that. Yeah. Hi Jay, what's the value of the iPhone 12 and 12 mini? Is a better option than Pro models? I obviously like the 12 models better. I don't prefer the Pro models. I don't. Somebody said I got auto tune going on. I can't. I actually like the 12 models better because the 12 models actually are value for consumers. They're value for consumers. It's why get an iPhone 12 Pro when you can get the iPhone 12? It just doesn't make any sense. Like they're selling you, and that again is probably the title that fits it best for the title of this live stream is, did you make the right choice? High price, low value. The iPhone 12, and even though the iPhone 12, look, this is a 64 gig iPhone 12. It costs what, $830? That's overpriced. But the Pro model of this is even more overpriced. But if you're an iPhone person, you definitely should go with the 12 series, not the Pro series. So what phones are on the desk? This is the Blade 11 Prime, this blue looking one right here, and this is the Blade X1 5G. Yeah. So I see a comment here. Mi 11 for $578 at 256 gig, flagship killer. Carlos would probably be right on that. I think he's doing pretty good. Ivan Woods says, hey, what's up, bro? I'm considering getting an iPhone for the first time ever. What do you think? I think you should try it. I mean, I don't think you're going to miss out on anything. If you're only an Android user, a lot of times when you're buying something, you need to figure out what you're going to be using it for. I think that's, again, the title of the stream. I think a lot of people buy phones that they just don't need. They buy into a phone and it's way more money than they need to spend. Because check it. A lot of people probably could get away. I mean, this phone right here has a fingerprint reader in the power button, sleek looking phone, big screen, beautiful hardware, headphone jack, Type-C, great speakers, fast stock Android. But the techie in you, here's something for people that are not techies. If you're not a techie, don't listen to a person who's a tech enthusiast. They're gonna probably start telling you all of these things about, yeah, man, they'll have you going back and forth about about something. You could ask a basic question like, yo, I got $129 and this is my limit and yada yada yada. Do not listen to a tech enthusiast when it's time to make your purchase. Don't do it, because what's going to happen is they're going to have you on a loop. They're going to have you second guessing what you're actually buying the phone for. I know people that actually use a flip phone for their daily phone. Because why? Because their flip phones are not, a phone to a lot of people, a cell phone that is not a necessity. They use it for emergency purposes and it's in the glove box, period. Straight up. That is what they do. So if you're on the fence about buying that iPhone for the first time, man, I say go to the store alone, find out what you're going to be doing with the phone, and really dig in on what you're going to be needing this device for. If it's predominantly social media, if it's predominantly phone calls, you really don't need to spend a lot of money. You really don't need to spend a lot of money, for real. My dad still has the iPhone 5S and he won't let it go. I understand, Wesley, because especially if it works. If it works, why are we changing phones? And see, that's why I said just now to the people who's just coming in, I appreciate you coming in, stopping by for a live stream. It's just one of those top down live streams, not showing off, just showing you different price value for those that have just come in. All these phones do something great and have value to the customer. They're just in different price ranges. And that's what we're talking about right now. So I understand why your dad won't let go of the iPhone 5S. First of all, the iPhone 5S, just that iPhone 5 body is basically this phone right here. This is the best hardware because they mashed up the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 5 and they came up with the iPhone 12. That's all they did. They did it intentionally. They slowed down, didn't give us what we wanted right away, and they gave us pretty much the iPhone 5 right here mixed with the iPhone 11. That's all they did. That's all they did. That's all they did. So I understand why he won't let it go. I understand. You don't need to. You don't need to. The iPhone 11 is a value phone for iOS at the moment. You're not wrong because the iPhone 11 is a previous generation flagship from Apple. It does everything the iPhone 12 does. It looks the same. It's got all the colors. It's got great battery. It's got great cameras. You're not wrong. I would highly recommend. You know what? I would go so far as to say I recommend the 10R. You can get those for brand new from the Apple Store for a good price. Software updates take up space as well. Maybe not the big of a deal, but sometimes you do think about it. Yeah, because the software updates, he's still talking about software. What happens is you have to download like this 10 gig file. And in most situations nowadays, the file will be deleted after it's installed. But I don't know. I think Apple for sure, but Android, I remember having some where it's taking up space still. I need to go into the file system and delete the file, like the installation file. But I don't know if that's still true. But yeah. Post your comments down below, and I'll post them up if you have a question. It was so annoying when I was looking for a replacement phone. Tech has pushed me to phones higher than 2 months rent. I totally get it, man. Oh my god, I totally understand. Oh my gosh, man, I totally understand. Let me give myself a sound check, man. I just been having the worst time. I've been having the worst time with my live streams, man. Here lately, my live streams, the quality has just been crazy bad, and all these different servers that I keep switching to, it just keeps telling me that it's poor connection, poor connection, poor connection. I mean, I'm super frustrated with this, but try and real stream or try and stream y'all right now. I'm kind of getting that same thing, so I'm going to check my router. Nonetheless, I understand. I understand what you mean. That's why I said earlier, don't talk to a tech enthusiast when it comes time to make your purchase. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. You go in there alone. You go in there alone. You can take their advice on some brands or something, or limit like the storage and things like that. And it's just, you just don't want to go shopping with a tech head. How's my yeah, I'm over Wi-Fi. Okay, so let me answer this question real quick, because if you've been following me for the last couple days, I'm just not getting back into, and I appreciate you guys stopping in for a live stream. I really do. If you've been following me, I'm gonna start live streaming more, but for some reason, I'm over Wi-Fi, and for some reason, the connection, like anytime I use something that's not the YouTube Creator app, this is how my streams end up being. I keep getting poor connection, or I keep getting things happening. Like on my side, all I see is poor connection, and it'll go away. You know, and like when I'm looking at the stream, I open the stream in a separate window. That person is right. It shows. I'm gonna put this comment up if it'll let me. This is true, John Evans. You're absolutely right, because on my side, it shows 720p. But when I look at the actual stream, it looks like it's in negative 144. I don't know what's going on. But I've always streamed over Wi-Fi most of the time over the years. 'Cause I have 1 gig down and I have 1 gig up. But recently I had to switch providers and they don't have 1 gig up. They don't have 1 gig up. So I'm only working with about 20 to 35 up, which is why my streams have been kind of trash lately. That's what it is. So if you're working with a stream, providers don't think you know, but you really need the uplink. The uplink is really important. Like right now, I'm wondering what will happen if I switch my. I have a portable router right here in my office, like literally right next to me. But I'm not linked to that one. I didn't link to that one because it's the weaker of the two. But if I switch this, I don't know if my stream will drop off or not. I don't know. That's why I haven't switched it because last time when I switched it, the stream shut off and it just kind of yeah, negative 1440 for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I could go audio only, but I don't want to have you guys doing audio only. It's a live stream. Yeah, man, I've played with my settings a lot, and I think it's just because remember, if you just catching this, it only happens to me when I use some other source than YouTube. That's the only time this happens. So before I was using Restream, and it just was totally trashing me. Now I'm trying StreamYard, and it's the same thing. It's telling me poor connection, poor connection. But in reality, my connection is 500 down and like 40 up. That's the truth. So the uplink is where my times have changed. Some other source. I did a sound check. I just heard it. Let me, if my stream, let me say this real briefly. If the stream drops off right now, I'm not going to restart it. I know there's 140 people in here. But if I'm about to switch the server, and now it's telling me the server is fairly good. So right when I was getting ready to switch it, it should clear up for you guys. It should be clearing up now. Now, yeah, it's fine now. And I had to address that real quick because this only happens to me when I'm using something other than YouTube directly. Yeah, only when I'm doing something other than YouTube. I have 500 down and 40 up, but in reality, you need your uplink when you're doing live streams. You need the upstream, but more than you don't need download speeds when you're doing a live stream. You need the uplink. It's called uplink. They call it upload, but it's your uplink or upstream, as she said. So my Wi-Fi strength is strong, but I have a smart home, and everything is on the smart home, and so even when I'm watching TV and streaming things in 4K, it works perfectly fine. But anytime I do a live stream, this is what happens. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with my conversation about my poor Wi-Fi connection in my house. I mean, I have a ginormous house, but I have hotspots all through the house, and I have one in my office. But yeah, that's gonna hurt you when you're trying to do a live stream. If you don't have the uplink, yeah. So anyway, smartphones. We all got duped. And I'll throw myself in there at this point. So if you hung in there with my little spat for somebody said robot man. I think it's funny, man. I can laugh at myself. If you know me, I'm not offended by any of this stuff. I think it's funny. I'm laughing with you. Somebody said robot man. It's hilarious. Oh man. Let me tell this person. You should probably just go to a different stream because I think my English is probably great. You're probably not paying attention, so let's just go ahead and move you around here. There we go. Man, okay, anyway, Surface Duo. I think we all got duped the first time. I got duped the first time. I got duped on the Surface Duo, and I was upset. I was upset because I paid what $1,600. I paid $1,650 after taxes, and I got played. And the reason I got played is because I didn't get all I wanted out of that device, But obviously, I've bought it again since then, and so it's fine now. But the first time I got duped because Microsoft, they told us they had been preparing that device for what, about 2 years or so, and they finally brought it out, and then the software was bad, like my connection on the stream. it was okay, but it was horrible, I must say. Overall, it wasn't to my liking. After 2.5 months or so, I think, or 3 months, however long I had it, it wasn't to my liking, so I sold it. Now, when I sold it, everybody bought it again once the price dropped. Now, I obviously purchased it again once the price dropped. And there's also software updates. So now the phone is totally right. It's right. It's the best thing that you could possibly have right now as far as a folding phone, because it's a true multitasking device. I got duped on there. What phone did you feel like you purchased that you got duped on, where it doesn't have to be that the phone failed. You just felt like, I shouldn't have bought this, and you couldn't return it. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there. You guys remember when there used to be cell phone contracts? Man, I hated when there were cell phone contracts. I hated when there were cell phone contracts because, well, it was a good and a bad thing. It was a good and a bad thing. The thing about cell phone contracts are, back in the day, you didn't have to pay for these devices up front, and you didn't have to finance the phone. However, you did have to stay in that contract, and then if you broke the contract, they charged you a cancellation fee. And they had these crazy cancellation fees of $5 or $350, $250, $150, whatever. They just kept going up. They just kept going up, and there was nothing we can do about it. Period. Nothing we can do about it. Some people say the phone you got duped on was the LG V10, the Note 20 Ultra, the Note 10 Plus. Oh, man. I don't think there's ever going to be the so-called future-proof phone, man. It just doesn't exist. There's no future-proof phone because, and he's just naming off a few things here, but you can't have a future-proof phone, because then that means technology is stopping and we're done. That's impossible, folks. You can't stop creating. You can't stop creating. It's just not possible. It doesn't make any sense for when techies say, this phone is future proof. That just doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. You cannot have a future proof phone. Would you recommend waiting for the Surface Duo? I say, go ahead, Scotty, go ahead and buy the original one now. Just buy it. Buy the original Duo right now, because when the Surface Duo 2 comes out, it's going to freaking cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot. HTC Thunderbolt, that was a disappointing phone. Yeah, the HTC Thunderbolt, it was okay for what it was. It was okay for what it was. The Essential phone at the beginning was rough. Yeah, but it pulled through, son, because they updated that phone for over 2 years straight. And the hardware was before its time, but again, it was like the Surface Duo. It was that software. That's what hurt it. That's what hurt it. Why have I never reviewed the Razer 5G? Because it's way overpriced for what I want to spend. I had my Samsung Z Flip at the time, 5G, and I just didn't think it was the way it was put together. I like it. It's $1,000 right now, but I just don't trust it yet, man. I don't know. That's a floating phone that I'm just those plastic displays and stuff like that. I just can't see myself spending that kind of money on a plastic display, that easily can be scratched like that. I don't know. I did it for Samsung, obviously, because I like the form factor and the way that one was put together. But the Motorola version, it just looked like it seemed flimsy. Do you think the Duo 2 will get a major upgrade change, like a Flip 2? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to change the hardware too much, because the hardware on the Surface Duo right now is amazing. The hardware on the Surface Duo, the current generation, is freaking crazy. It is off the charts. A lot of people have not touched the Surface Duo this first gen that's out, and it puts all the other folding devices to shame when it comes to hardware. There's no better hardware on a folding phone than the Surface Duo. That's just my personal opinion. And everybody who has picked up the Surface Duo, who has opted for the folding phone and finally picked it up, once they felt that hardware, they were like, "Oh my goodness, man, this is crazy!" And it's hard to put it down. It's hard to put it down. So I just want to do a quick stream discussion with you guys. I'll probably stream in the daytime. I used to stream like 2 or 3 times a week. But I yeah, that's true. Back in the day, the LG did have boot loop and overheating, but those issues are definitely gone now. So, but I wanted to stream with you guys for a little bit and have a discussion. But I'm going to call my service provider because I'm really getting tired of these bad. If I would have used the YouTube app, this would have been fine. It's totally frustrating, but it is what it is. So I'm going to cut here. And I appreciate you guys coming in for a quick impromptu stream. Like I really wasn't planning this. I was going to record a video. But I wanted to test out my live stream setup again with StreamYard, and then I also wanted to do a live stream with you guys, man. So I'll be live again next Monday with part 5 of the series. If you're following along, if you haven't seen 1, 2, 3, and 4, you definitely want to go check them out. It'll be a good watch for you. Put it up on your big screen TV and relax and watch and catch up, so we can get on part 5 next Monday. We'll have some special guests on there too. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Discussion can go on and on. I might keep this one going too later on at a later date, but I got something special lined up for you guys, man. It's going to be really nice. And look for my follow-up coverage on these bad boys right here, the Series A. Also have my follow-up on the Bowers & Wilkins, the $400 earbuds. Yeah, and my Surface Duo. Surface Duo get some updates too. I got something coming for you. And then I have the Vista 2s that I've worked on recently as well. So, smartphoneconversations.com, you see the plug. That's what it is. Get back to work, folks. And I'm going to end this broadcast. Yeah, I'll holler at you later.